Hello, everyone. Imagine walking into an organization where projects are constantly delayed, work ethics is declining, employees are frustrated, and leadership first response is let's organize more training. The question is, will training actually solve the problem? In this presentation, I would use Gilbert's behavior engineering model to answer that question at EduCore Dynamics. My name is Lucy Chioma Aniagolu. EduCore Dynamics is experiencing missed deadline, inconsistent work quality, declining morale, and workflow confusion after introducing a new project management tool called TaskSync. Leadership is unsure whether these issues require training or whether broader organizational problems are responsible. As the director of design, my responsibility is to diagnose the root cause before recommending any solution. I selected Gilbert's behavior engineering model because it examines both environmental and individual factors affecting performance. This reminded me of my experience at Agrodemic Technologies, where I learned that learners asking for another course did not always mean they needed one. Often, technology, access, or workplace condition were the real barriers, and Gilbert's model encourages that same evidence-based model. Now, what's Gilbert's model? Gilbert's model explains that performance depends on environmental support and individual factors. Environmental support includes information, resources, and incentive, while the individual factors include knowledge, capacity, and motivation. Rather than assuming poor performance is caused by a lack of skill, the model examines the entire performance ecosystem before recommending intervention. Let's diagnose the EduCore performance gap. Applying this model to this EduCore revealed issues across several categories. Employees lacked clear workflows, struggled with insufficient software, reported declining morale, and may still require support using TaskSync. This suggests that the performance problems are influenced by both environmental and individual factors rather than training alone. Now, let's compare the training and the non-training needs. EduCore Dynamics critical performance challenges cannot be solved via training models. A dual approach separating instructional and structural requirements is necessary. Gilbert's model has helped distinguish between training and non-training need. Employee may benefit from taxing training, but workflow confusion, communication challenges, software limitation, and low morale are organization issues that training alone cannot solve. So addressing these barriers is essential for improving performance. When I try to compare Gilbert to Harless, both of them are human performance technology models. But Gilbert BM offers a deeper diagnostic matrix for complex organization failures compared to Harless. Think about the primary objective. Gilbert was explaining why performance is low across holistic levels, while Harless determines primarily whether instruction training is the need. Gilbert examines three environmental factors and three individual variables, while Harless focuses on checking instructional validity beforehand. And this goes ahead for their system perspective and suitability for EduCore. Harley focuses on determining whether training is needed. Gilbert helps us to explain why performance is declining by examining the environmental and individual influence. Since EduCore problems are interconnected, I found Gilbert's model to still be a better fit. At critical evaluation, one strength of the Gilbert model is its system perspective. It encourages evidence-based decision and prevents unnecessary training. A limitation is that it requires extensive evidence before conclusion can be made. So additional interviews, observation, and performance data will strengthen the final diagnosis. Think about it. We need time, we need data, and it's practitioner dependent. You would always need a highly skilled learning designer or performance analyst to avoid critical errors. Based on my analysis, to address the root environmental and skill challenge at EduCore Dynamics, the performance improvement plan is organized into three-phased implementation segments. One, immediate. For the next 30 days, we need to standardize and streamline the process reengineering, workflow cleanup, and SOP publication. Think about it as a post-quick reference guidebook. In phase two, we now need to train and align the team. So competency onboarding, role realignment, status transparency. Then in phase three, we optimize and scale. Do an API automation, do a culture metrics, and continuously evaluate the system, having an audit system that is efficiently used quarterly. Based on my analysis, I would recommend this. Let's improve workflow, let's standardize task sync processes, let's strengthen communication, and provide leadership support before introducing the targeted task sync training. Combining training with organizational improvement is more likely to produce lasting performance gain than relying on training alone. My key takeaway from this: applying Gilbert shifts the instructional design role from a transactional order taker to strategic business consultant. The diagnosis of the EduCore Dynamics have proved that while training can address systemic navigation, true productivity requires stabilizing the operational environment. Sustained success relies on the continuous alignment of the environmental support and the human expertise. Think about it as need assessment, performance diagnosis, environmental alignment, and then high accomplishment. These assignments reinforced an important lesson for me. Effective learning designers are not measured by the number of courses they create, but by the performance problem they help organizations solve. In conclusion, Gilbert's behavior engineering model was the strongest choice because he examined the entire performance system rather than assuming employees simply needed more training. Thank you very much.